you're out there, you're riding, you're having a good time, and taking in the outdoors.
The fight isn't over. The fight is just beginning.
What's going on, guys? This is Carl with the RacerRed channel. Howdy.
What's up, man?
Not much. Bike's looking good. You guys probably noticed that my bike was smoking a little bit in my last video. The reason for that is because I was running the bike really rich. I wasn't sure if I had mixed gas in that tank. So instead of running it without knowing, I just doubled it and mixed it in with my fuel that was already in the bike. So instead of 32 to 1, I was running like probably 20 something to 1. But that is like the major thing you can do to make sure your bike treats you well, is just keep good gas in it and not use ethanol. That's probably the main one. That's like the number one maintenance thing. If I could give you any kind of advice, that would be the maintenance advice, especially when it's getting to be winter time. That's the number one mistake people make, is they put ethanol fuel, just pump fuel in their bike. Before they know it, it's all gummed up and the bike is just completely useless until the carburetor gets cleaned. And a lot of times they neglect their battery as well. So like, there are countless bikes that go on the market that have a bad battery and a gummed up carburetor. Action cameras never do it justice, but that's a pretty cool view. Mountains in the background, then you have the valley, then you have these rolling hills. Pretty cool. This is just riding through the badlands. It's a different kind of beauty for sure. Definitely not beautiful in the way that a forest is beautiful, or a waterfall into a lake or something cool like that. But this is a really scenic area nonetheless, in its own way. I was listening to a guy talk about something similar to that, but it had nothing to do. It was more philosophical in how people respond to other people. And just saying that about how this scenery is nice, but it's not nice in the way that a forest is nice, reminded me of that, and how he was saying, like, one of the things that is really important to do is to accept all of the things inside of yourself, because if you fail to do that, you will reflect them on other people, and you will hate that about other people. Whatever it is that you don't feel comfortable with in yourself, you will reflect it in other people. And that's a lot of what the problem is with, well, especially like parents have a real problem with that, just because, you know, you hear that a lot, you know, they get reflected onto their kids. Anyways, you hear about parents reflecting that on their kids. And I think that's mainly, well, for one, a parent has the most influence on a kid, and they can have the most influence there. That's my point, is just that it's easy to reflect the things that you don't look at in yourself out to the world, and then you are just angry at the world. You're just angry that they're showing you all these contradictions and these character flaws, or the way they act socially, or whatever it may be. It's usually something, well, it's almost always something that you're seeing in yourself that you're trying to see in something else. And the reason for that is you haven't looked at it. You haven't just been with it and looked at it in yourself. And I really like this concept because you can forgive yourself for being human. You can look at those things and look at the badlands inside of yourself and be okay with it. It's fine. You're not God. You're human. Be a little bit forgiving of those things. That's a really good step that people can take to be friendlier. Just overall, a lot of people could benefit from that, because most people have something within themselves that they really don't like looking at, and that they actively ignore, and that they project onto other people. So anyways, that's why the Badlands thing reminded me of that, because it's still beautiful. It's beautiful in its own way. And one of the things that's beautiful about the Badlands is you can experience it with your health, like how I am right now. I'm healthy, I'm feeling good. I've got everything I need right now, and it's a good way to experience the desert right now. Not only that, but I get to hang out with cool people, and I'm on my dirt bike. Yeah, there's many good things about it. So it's not just the environment. It allows you to appreciate the forest more, I should say. So when you go to the forest and you have all that stuff, it's even better. But one of the things I think is really important is to accept your environment as it is. And that's the art of living life, is to accept and be happy with what you have and where you're at currently. You may not have the cool thing that you've been wanting, but you certainly have something, and that is enough. But there is never a destination that will make you happier, or an object that will make you happier. Those things just add to your existence, and that's why I have personally gone away from trying, like the rat race, basically. I've gone away from that because I am 100% happy with a used old car that is 100% reliable. It's as reliable as a brand new one, if not more so, because it's got the bugs worked out of it. Like, just that kind of stuff, you know? Everything ties in. But you see enough tragedy, and that's one thing that contributes to it as well. It makes you appreciate when you're not experiencing tragedy. And I think that hardship in every aspect of life is sometimes necessary to make you appreciate not having hardship. Seeing how finite life is can help you appreciate the amazing amount of life you get to live. It's not to be wasted. And if it is wasted, it's such a shame. I know personally my view of success has completely changed. I've gone through some topics randomly, for sure. Hopefully I hit on one that was interesting. I think being accepting of people, no matter who they are or what they believe, is just a good practice for yourself. I mean, it's just a better way to live, generally speaking. for one, there's so many different religions around, and that causes some divide. I would say a lot of divide between religions, but honestly, I think a lot of that is propaganda. I mean, I know people from all different walks of life, and they are pretty friendly, like, generally speaking. I think the only, not the only reason, but I think a lot of the reason why people have this anger toward other religions is because it's been fed to them through different streams of propaganda, us versus them kind of thing. But it's funny because, you know, the U.S., we use a lot of like pagan symbolism, and we use it mixed with Christianity, like Christmas. You know, the Christmas tree that's very pagan, but it is how you view it. It's not. It doesn't mean you're going to hell just because you have a Christmas tree. It's celebrating whatever you want it to celebrate. Same with the peace sign. Did you know that the peace sign was an anti-Christian sign put in place by an emperor, and the peace sign originally meant Christians are persecuted here. They would put it at the front of their cities and temples to basically say, hey, if you're Christian, we're going to kill you. Now, people don't know that. That's an upside down broken cross. And they used that, they adopted that symbol in the 60s, and they did that on purpose. But that doesn't mean that, like, if you have a peace emblem, you know, tattooed on your arm, and you didn't know any of the history behind it, that doesn't mean that you're anti-Christian, you know, that you hate Christians or anything. That just means you're a peaceful person, probably. So yeah, lots of symbolism. I mean, I don't think there's any sequence of, you know, hand gestures or words that can make you, you know, a demonic or bad person. You know, I think it's all in your intent. What is your intent? That's all that really matters, you know? Nothing else matters. Are you nice to people? You look at all these different religions, most of them have the base value of love. So do you love people? And that is the question. And are you friendly to people? Do you show that? And I think that's all, you know? I don't hate you if you're in any religion. I don't care if you're Muslim. Are you nice? Because if you're nice and you're Muslim, that's cool. I think you're a good person. Same with whoever.
Easy to flap your cat.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I was doing right here. Like, as long as I stay probably about 30% of my riding ability, like really low, yeah, I can just cruise and like, then I can think and like articulate. Right. But if I go any faster than that, if I get up to like 50 or 60, then I'm like, there's no bandwidth left over for talking about random crap.
Hill climb. Now the desert pigeon's going to chuck its babies out of its nest.
Oh crap! Now I did it. Plus the climate. Look.
I know.
See that? That's a smoke cloud. That's not.
Right. You put all the dust in the air.
Oh no!
Oh, here comes
global warming.
Winter now.
Crap.